Right, we just showed off the Black Knight. You guys could check out that review if you haven't checked it out yet, but we are going to take a look at the Raptor from Fortnite made by McFarlane Toys. This guy is awesome. McFarlane Toys sent us over the Black Knight to review, as well as the C-Day figure here, and we're going to crack him open. But I want to read off the package information just to get this out of the way first. It's available for pre-order at ThinkGeek. I believe you can also find some Fortnite figures at GameStop as well, Walmart, Target, stuff like that. The design is directly sculpted and painted from in-game assets, hyper-articulated, 18 plus points, perfect for emote posing, comes with complete with the Raptor satchel, back bling, the breaker harvesting tool, which is up here, my favorite friggin' gun in the game that's vaulted, which is the Tommy gun, and the Fortnite branded display base. Let's crack him open and take a look at him. I'm sorry, the drum gun is what the official name is in the game. I forgot. But let's crack him open. All right, this is the first time I'm seeing C-Day in person, and he definitely looks really cool. They did a great job with his back bling too. I can't wait to get to that, but they did a fantastic job. I got one little con though, one tiny con. He looks sad. They made him look sad. I mean, Raptor, buddy, what's going on? Look at him. He's like, oh man. I mean, on the package, he's like, dun 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 dun, I'm here to kick ass and take names. And then in the figure form, he's like, oh, there's no bright bomber to look at. He's sad now. He's like, what's going on? No defaults. That's it. He's missing defaults. McFarlane Toys, you got to make some defaults. What are you doing? What are you doing? Give us a default. Show love to the defaults. Anyway, the Raptor, great likeness, except for the sad expression. Great likeness to the character in the game. You can see that this looks like a separate piece. That's why the paint job looks fantastic. You got a ski mask painted and then his headpiece painted. The only difference, I think, in the game, his mask actually comes down a little more and rests on his chest. But I like the way they did it better, having it tucked in there, just because that would probably interfere with his articulation. So I think that was a great idea. He's got his bomber jacket, or I don't know. It looks like a pilot jacket, you know what I'm saying? And then he's got a little tattoo on his arm. He's got his grenade shells right here, the zipper. He's got grenades on his hip. And then he's got different legs. Now these Skull Trooper and the Black Knight come with similar legs with shields on them, shin pads. This guy comes with knee pads with these boots. Yo, they did a great job with him. They absolutely did a great job with him. I mean, look at him. He looks pretty stinking cool. Yeah. This is probably the best Raptor figure on the market as far as articulation, paint, sculpt, everything. I don't think you can get better than this, to be honest. Now, starting at the head, he has a great range of motion. He doesn't have a mask like the Black Knight to get in the way. All of them have a great range of motion, except for the Black Knight, obviously, because of his mask. But this guy can pretty much move anywhere. And then you have these awesome rotating articulation joints. You got this plugs right in and this around it to give him extra room for utilizing his harvesting tools, posing them in an emote or whatever you want to do. He can go back and forth and all the way around, and it blends in there really well. I think it blends in there the best probably with this Raptor figure. And then he's got the articulation that's missing from the Black Knight, which is the ab crunch, and he gets a really good back and a really good forward on that ab crunch. That is friggin' awesome. You have obviously the shoulder. You have the swivel under the shoulder. You have the elbow bends, double jointed, which is amazing. You got a ton of articulation in the wrist. It'll swivel and it'll go up and down. You got to line the ball up how you want it. That is one thing. Like if you want him to go up and down this way, you got to line that line up with how. Or if you want him to go up and down this way, you just got to make sure you line that up. But if you move that ball around, you can get him to articulate however you want. He's got a twist, obviously, in the ab crunch and then a twist in the waist. It's a little stiff there, but you can definitely get him to move in that waist. And then this articulation that still weirds me out. It looks really good in a character like this. See what I mean about those joints in there? It looks really good in a character like this because when you're done articulating him, he lines up really good with the sculpt job. Let's see his legs. And then if you want to get some up articulation, he kicks back a lot. He can kick forward and move out some. Yeah, he kicks back a lot. You could probably do a good amount with him. He does pretty good splits, double jointed in the leg here. Same with the other leg, obviously. And he's got great articulation on these ankles with toe articulation as well. The ankle, see what I mean with that ball? See that line? Depending on where that line is, you'll get the articulation. So you'll have to, if you want it on the side, you'll have to move it to where that line is on the side so that way you can get him breaking his friggin' ankle. That's the Raptor after jumping off a high hill and not building quick enough. He breaks his legs. But yeah, if you wanted him in, that looks broken, but that's how good the articulation is. If you wanted him in some type of killer pose where he's doing something funky, you get that lined up just right and you'll be able to do it because of all the points of articulation on this figure. One thing though I noticed, this is the stiffest of all of them, which could be a plus because with a really loose toe articulation, the body weight leans forward a bit and they'll want to fall over because this articulation will just give. I think this is the way to go. You got some articulation here. It could use a little more. I have a feeling it's because of the sculpt. Let me show you the sculpt on the boot. I have a feeling it's because of that sculpt that gives it only a limited amount, not as much as the others, like the Black Knight, for example. I'll bring his leg in here. I mean, he can really bend, but I think that's because of the sculpt. See that? But because of that, if he stands up without the base, sometimes he'll lean forward. I've gotten him to stand pretty good without it, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but just to let you know, his seems to be the stiffest, which could be really useful in keeping him from falling over. Yeah. Here he is, C-Day in physical form in an action figure toy right there. Come on, stand up. I got to play around with this. I know this is what's going to keep him from standing. There we go. Aha. Actually, he's going to get in the way. Let's look at the back bling, which is painted wonderfully. It just ports right in his back. You can actually, that was really smooth. Holy cow. I know the others were a little stiff getting it in the back bling, and I think they're improving with every figure because that is smooth. If all of them were like that, that is going to be very useful in trading the back blings. Let me see. Yeah, that's real smooth. If you want the Dark Knight, the Black Knight, why do I keep calling him the Dark Knight? If you want the Black Knight to have his back bling, it just pops right in there. And the, yep, so there is the Raptor with his back bling. And they did a great job. He's got his little canteen down here with the little framing here, making it pop a little. You have his, I would imagine, an ice scraper. No, I'm kidding. I thought it was a shovel, but he's got a shovel here on the side. And then you got the frame of the backpack metal. And then back there you got the metal. You got the brown straps with the silver buckles. Yeah, they did a great job painting this. Let's see. And then on the inside, did a great job. Next up, his harvesting tool. Got a pointy end here. And then it's just solid black with a little handle design, and then you have this jagged part with the sharper part around, so it's just a shovel. A deadly shovel, a very deadly shovel. This is one of the harvesting tools I actually don't have in-game. And then finally, my favorite gun in the game ever, mostly because it looks like a gangster. I love it. I got a Tommy gun tattoo. That's how much I love this design of this gun in real life. But anyway, also the sound. This is the best sounding gun, in my opinion, in Fortnite. And they did a great job adding a little bit of the black to it, giving it that metal, black and silver, I'm sorry, giving it that metal glisten. Yeah, so let's pop that in his hand. Actually, for some reason, that's the only thing I don't understand really with these figures is they're all left-handed. And they're actually right-handed in the game. So with the articulation, that shouldn't be a problem getting him set up in some type of pose. He's got a little silver. I saw that one. I didn't catch the other one. I think a few players have that tattoo. But yeah, with the articulation, you'll be able to properly get this. That's a little stiff. I don't want to mess with it because this is a little bit of softer material. I'm going to warm his hand up and get him with the Tommy gun, most likely, posed on the shelf. And again, you fiddle with the different balls and stuff to get the articulation proper. But he should work out just fine. Yeah. So here is the Raptor figure. Keep the change, you filthy animal. That's what he's saying. And then you have the Dark Knight. Why do I say that? The Black Knight. I swear I think of Batman every freaking time I go to say his name, and that's why I say the Dark Knight. And they all come with the Fortnite base, which I didn't rip it out of the package, but they all come with this. So instead of having a hard time putting them on standing up, which they can stand on a flat table, this is a... I actually have a material cover on my table here, so they are not going to stand up really well. Yeah, like I said, Cuddle Team Leader is wrapped up for my daughter for Christmas, but we got these three thanks to McFarlane Toys sending us the Raptor, the Black Knight, and then I already reviewed the Skull Trooper. Best Fortnite figures on the market for sure. These are premium figures with a great sculpt, paint. The paint is extremely important on stuff like this. You can have a great sculpt, but if the paint is off, it's going to throw the whole thing off, as well as the whole nine. I think the packaging is a home run. Comes with a stand, the sculpt, the paint, the likeness, what you get, the accessories, the price point. I think this is definitely the way to go. This is, in my opinion, the best thing that McFarlane Toys is creating currently. One of the best. They got Game of Thrones figures coming out. I love Game of Thrones. I'm excited to see what they look like. But the Fortnite figures, between everything, the articulation, the sculpt, the paint job, the accessories, and the price point, this is the best that they're doing. All right, put your thoughts and opinions. What do you think about the Fortnite action figures? And stay tuned to the Ronny Haze channel in 2019. I've already got a lineup. We already got 20 videos ready to rock and roll for Fortnite. And I'm excited to get those started sometime in January of 2019 on the Ronny Haze channel. Links will be down below. And also links to McFarlane Toys. You have the Facebook and everything. I'll put those down below so you can send them images of your collections and they can repost them. All right, thanks for coming by the review room, and don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.